Clark, I think it's official. We have a really fun and exciting Dolphins team.
Yeah. This is the first blowout that they've been on the winning end of that I can recall for a while. I mean, I'm trying to think of, since Tua's been the quarterback, I don't think they've really had any blowout wins. The last one I can remember was, I think, Ryan Fitzpatrick put up like 40 points on the 49ers back in 2020. Yeah, I think 2020. This was, they ran the ball really well, which at the beginning of the season, we over the course of the season, we've been waiting for them to see them be able to run the ball like that, and they really did. Tua, I was impressed because the Browns kind of tried to take away the middle of the field. He still had some completions there, but they really tried to take that away, take away those like deep in routes and cutting in routes that he likes to throw. But he made some plays. He got the ball, outside him in that touchdown pass he threw to Scheffler.
Sure.
That was I've never seen Tua throw a pass like that, where it was like he was deep out like that and he chucked the ball toward the corner, basically the corner of the end zone, to where only his guy could get it, and it was just tremendous throw, tremendous catch, like awesome. So. Yeah, I'm impressed with Tua. Like what Colin Cowherd's saying, he's the same quarterback. No, he's better. I'm not saying he's some elite quarterback, but he's better. Like, he's definitely better. I think, and I've said this before, he's got good coaching, not just in terms of Mike McDaniel, but I think their offensive coordinator and then just the staff they have around there, I think has been really good for Tua. Obviously, he has weapons now, and they were talking about it during the broadcast. I think he's confident. Some of these deep throws he's throwing, he's not necessarily completing them, but he's letting it fly, which that's kind of different. I didn't really see this from him the previous 2 years. So it feels like they're led by their offense now, which is obviously a flip from last year. Their defense I still have questions about, although they played better today. They had a pass rush today. They still gave up a lot of yards, but it's kind of, they're 7-3 now. They're in first place, at least for the time being, because they beat the Bills and the Bills lost today, but they still have that loss to the Jets. But, you know what? I can roll with this for the next few years, the next few years with Tua. And if he probably gets an extension after this at some point. But I can kind of roll with this. This is kind of fun. And you know what? Tua's not, is he one of the top 5, 6, 7 quarterbacks in the league? Some people might argue right now, yeah, and maybe you could make the case there. But I think overall, just he's probably within the top 15, maybe 15, 14, depending on the week, So that's pretty good. You can win games with that, and they have a really great shot. Especially when they come back after the bye, if they can beat the Texans, they're 8-3. They're really set up to make the playoffs, and then it becomes a question of, can they win the division, which I wasn't even really thinking of. But, the Bills now have 3 losses, so it's in play.
Yeah, well, obviously we're going to talk more about the Bills game in a few minutes. But, I think here's where I'm at with it. Like, the first 2 years, I was surprised that Tua wasn't better than that. I thought I never was a critic from the beginning, but I never thought he was going to be great, but I thought, this guy should be able to win games and play in the NFL pretty well. And the first 2 years, I was really disappointed. And this year, I'm impressed. I am. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the efficiency. I'm impressed with the accuracy. It gets to the point with him, like he throws a ball to the outside, I think high to somebody, and I'm like, oh man, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
When he's completing, 75% of his passes, that's where the standard has grown with him, because we've seen what he's capable of doing. And, so to me, he's doing exactly what you're supposed to do. There's nobody in the NFL playing better than him. You can argue there are better quarterbacks, but there's nobody playing better than he is right now. So, and
I like the stuff where because we've established that he's good when he snaps the ball, plants his back foot, and then throws. We know that, and we know he's good throwing over the middle. He's obviously, there's some things he can work on, but today I really like that he when the first guy wasn't there or he had to kind of wait in the pocket, I felt like his mechanics didn't break down and he still made a good throw. And then even when he was on the move, and I saw this the last couple of weeks when he was on the move, I thought he was still making pretty accurate throws, and he was still making plays, and he wasn't, making any huge mistakes or making a bad play into something worse. Like there was a bad snap that he had to had to jump up and grab, and it kind of fell down, and he grabbed it and then just fell down and fell on the ball, and then it's like, all right, just wait till the next down. And I think that's something that he can keep working on. The deep ball thing. Look, the pass that he threw to Tyreek Hill, he didn't complete it, but I was kind of surprised he got the ball that far down the field. And it looked pretty good, so that's something he's going to have to work on, and maybe he can get a little bit, if he can just get a little bit better at it, that's enough for me. I mean, I don't expect him to be, Josh Allen just chucking the ball 80 yards down the field, but.
Yeah, and I think you saw in this game what's going to happen to the Dolphins from, pretty much for the rest of the season. Teams are going to pack the middle. They're going to keep the safeties back. They're afraid of getting beat by Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. So this is what you're going to end up with, which is why we've been saying since the offseason, they have to run the ball. They have to be successful running the ball. Now, maybe, they don't have to be the best running team in the league, but they have to be able to do it pretty well to be able to keep this going. And you saw it in the game today. They had 33 rushes, 33 passes. So it was literally perfect balance. They rushed for almost 200 yards. And you saw Jeff Wilson, he had some juice. This guy, adding him to the team, you've seen it in 2 games now, the guy brings it. Every run, he looks like he's got a chance to make a big play out of. And even the touchdown, Mostert, made a great run on the touchdown run. So, and Cleveland, so I thought the running game that's exactly what we need. If the Dolphins are going to go anywhere, that's what they need. Cleveland only had less than 300 yards of total offense. So the defense played well. I thought the pass rush was pretty good, even if they got 2 or 3 sacks. But even when they didn't get sacks, I felt like they got some pretty decent pressure on it.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett ran a little bit, so they could, and that's 2 weeks in a row we've had a quarterback kind of running on us. But, it wasn't as bad as Justin Fields.
Yeah, I think the running quarterback is an issue for the defense. I don't know that the defensive linemen and the linebackers are fast enough. But we're talking about Lamar Jackson.
That's an issue for any defense these days. Like when you watch Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or Justin Fields or even Mahomes, they can kind of create problems for you because it's just so hard to stop.
I thought they did a good job when we played Josh Allen earlier, but yeah, Lamar Jackson and Justin Fields, I'm picking the 2 fastest quarterbacks in the NFL. Yeah, we're going to have a hard time with them.
Yes. So, yeah, I can't really – again, look, there's things that I can nitpick and there's things that I can criticize and there's things I'm like they need to improve on this. But that's every team. You know what? They're in a pretty good spot. Especially they got a bye week. They come back, they play Houston, who's a really bad team. If they can just beat up on them, they're in a pretty damn good spot. Them making the playoffs seems like, at this point, it's almost like them missing the playoffs. I would be shocked and pretty disappointed because they're in such a good position to try to make. But now I'm kind of and I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm like, can they win the division? I don't know.
Well, they're tied for first place right now. So, so obviously they have a shot. They're going to have to play really well, but they obviously have a shot at it. I thought I've been kind of waiting for the defense. How long is this going to take? And basically where I'm at is I'll wait till after the bye, after Houston, when they play San Francisco. I'm waiting for the defense to show up because I think honestly, Clark, if the defense is 15th, 18th in the NFL, that's good enough. I don't think they need to have an unbelievable defense. And you saw today 2 of the sacks where Bradley Chubb, Melvin Ingram, and Jalen Phillips met at the quarterback at the same time.
Yeah.
So we now have, you saw in the game today, they had the lead, right? So in a game where the Dolphins have the lead, now we can put 3 or 4 really good pass rushers out there at the same time, and we have a chance to actually do damage. So you saw what, so I feel like, and I thought we did a decent job against the run, but I think the Dolphins have been pretty good against the run the whole season. We'll see what happens when we play, when we play elite quarterbacks and good teams. Can they maintain that kind of effort? But for, a game like this against, I think Cleveland's not a great team, but they're pretty good up front on both sides of the ball, and I thought they played pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of one of the next things that we need to see. Can they go on the road playing in cold weather and them playing against really good teams? Because, as much as there's been games where I'm like, I really like what Tua did, there's still the Patriots game, the Steelers game, where I'm kind of like, But again, it's funny because I'm watching Dak Prescott in the first half of that Cowboys game, and I'm like, God, he's really stinking it up today. And it's like, quarterbacks have those games, especially quarterbacks who are not like really, really top 5, top 6, whatever. So I can't, I can complain about it, but it is what it is.
Well, they're starting to put it together now. They've scored 31, 35, and 39 in 3 straight games. So that's where we want to be, right?
Yep. That's as your quarterback. I need you to go out there and make plays and score points, and they're making plays and they're scoring points. So,
the other thing that I thought was quite amazing. The Cleveland, this was a game I had circled because of Cleveland's pass rush, and after I saw what they did to Cincinnati a couple of weeks ago, I was definitely concerned. But the Dolphins' offensive line absolutely killed the Cleveland offensive line today. Yeah. They were significantly better. So I was really impressed. Like, now, granted, Tua gets rid of the ball pretty quickly, so that's a good thing.
But even on the plays where he didn't get rid of it really, really quickly, I thought he did a good job kind of moving around. And they're doing a good job. McDaniel's calling plays where they roll the pocket out, so you kind of don't keep them in one spot. And I think that's a good idea to call those plays. And I think Tua's made pretty good decisions on those plays and good throws, even though he's on the move. So,
yeah. So obviously the running game really helped with slowing down the pass rush. So all in all, like, we were waiting for a game where the Dolphins put it all together in one game.
Right.
And today they kind of did. They even got a turnover on defense. I feel like that's something we got to keep our eye on. They're going to have to get more turnovers on defense, and in order, especially when you play the Buffaloes and the Kansas Cities and teams like that. So, anyway, all in all, listen, everything's positive today. Not bashing anybody, and I said it a few weeks ago. Like, look, I'm not blaming the quarterback anymore. Like, this is on the coach and the defense and the running game and all of these things, because the quarterback is doing his job. Regardless of how good or not good you think he is, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. That's all anybody can ask.
Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts on the Dolphins before we move into the?
No. Well, I don't want to get it. I don't want to get into the weeds on Tua anymore. Really, but I don't want to go too far on that. I've done that enough over the past couple of years. So
that's no problem. We can edit it out later. No big deal.
Yeah. No.
So.